Good morning and happy Thursday. This is Mark Soderberg with your ag market commentary. Overnight agricultural prices were mostly higher. Corn right now is up 4 to 5 cents. Beans are mixed, pretty much steady in the beans. Lower in the oil, higher in the meal. Wheat prices also mixed, up 3 to 4 cents in Chicago and in Minneapolis, while down a couple cents here in Kansas City. No big shocks yesterday in the June WASDE report. In fact, a lot of the information was spot on with our expectations. USDA made no changes to the corn balance sheets, old or new crop, exactly what we were expecting. In beans, we were looking for a 15 million bushel increase in ending stocks due to lower crush. The USDA did lower crush 10 million bushels, which led to that much of a bump in old crop stocks, and those carried right through to new crop with no changes on the new crop bean balance sheet. And in wheat, the USDA winter wheat production forecast was raised 17 million bushels to 1.295 billion, slightly below expectations, but it was spot on with our pre-report estimate. To me, the biggest surprise was the lack of change in South American production in corn and soybeans. The only change was a 1 million metric ton drop to Brazilian bean production at 153 million metric tons. We were looking for a 3 million metric ton drop in Brazilian beans and in Argentine corn. On the other hand, however, the USDA was quick to lower Russian and Ukraine wheat production down 5 million metric tons in for the Russian crop, down 1.5 in Ukraine. Combined exports were also cut 5 million metric tons, with the USDA picking up a little bit of the global demand. Moments after the USDA reports, markets are right back to focusing on weather and the USDA stocks and acreage report at the end of the month. Right now, I got a little bit of a lean towards lower corn, higher bean acres, about 500,000. CONAB numbers just coming out here, 114 million metric tons on corn. That was up 2.5 million metric tons from last month. The corn price is still holding in there despite a slightly higher than expected boost. And bean production slightly lower at 147.35 million metric tons. We also saw lower production estimates from Strategy Grains overnight, lowered EU wheat 1.7 million metric tons, and they also slashed Russian production 11%, now in a range between 78 and 80 million metric tons. Also seeing lower corn production from the Mexican government. They cut production to 21.9 million metric tons due to ongoing drought. The USDA kept their forecast at 25 million metric tons yesterday. So obviously the lower production there means the greater amount of imports, with a vast majority of those corn imports coming from the U.S. despite the ongoing dispute over genetically modified corn. Export sales later this morning, also updates from the Buenos Aires Grain Exchange on their corn and soybean crops. We do have a chance for some powerful storms across the Midwest here today. Coverage will be rather spotty. We do have better prospects for widespread rains in the northwestern Corn Belt. Little to no moisture for the southern Midwest or eastern Corn Belt, however, over the next 7 days. I think the initial warmth we're seeing will help stimulate crop development and welcome by the crop. Obviously, we'll need to see further or additional follow-up rains here by late June in order to keep crop prospects high. July corn new high here overnight. Not a whole lot of resistance on the charts until we hit 471. D's 24 corn has challenged and did pop through its 100-day moving average overnight at 72.25. July beans, we did hold yesterday's low 1171. However, upside momentum is still lacking. And we did see July meal hold its 50-day moving average, setting up a little bit of a bounce. Bean oil continues to consolidate just below 44 cents. Inside day in Chicago wheat, Kansas City, we did make a new 6-week low overnight. However, we did set up for a little bit of a modest bounce and higher here in Minneapolis. So thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day.